Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today's video we're going to be diving into something very interesting, something that we all talk about fairly often if you're a bodybuilder. But we're going to be diving into this topic. We're going to be diving into this topic a little deeper. So I'm going to be joined by somebody that I personally believe has a great understanding of this subject. He's got a lot of knowledge. He's done a lot of research, and so the main reason we decided to do this vlog was as a result of a phone conversation that happened between the two of us. Because I called him up one day with a few questions on a couple of supplement brands that I needed some clarification. That I needed a few clarifications on, and like always, this guy he's my go-to in terms of supplement info and product knowledge. So yeah, I'm really happy to have him on the show, and I can't wait for you guys to meet him, and I can't wait for him to share his knowledge on the topic. And yeah, so stay tuned. Welcome back. I've got the man himself, Kiza. Kiza, welcome to the channel. Just to give you guys a quick intro on Kiza. Kiza is someone who's very passionate about sport and fitness. He started off with rowing. He represented his school at rowing. He was a third year's colorsman, and with that he sort of progressed into lifting weights, joining a gym, and then one thing led to another, and then his passion for bodybuilding was his passion for bodybuilding just took off from there. And he also studied in Australia. He majored in business and finance, plus his mom's a doctor, so he is fairly versatile in the field of sports and nutrition. He's also just 21 years old, and he's just started his own business. I will get into that a little later on in the video. But before that, yeah, it's great to have you, and I can't wait for them to understand what really goes into supplements, and why people like basic understanding of what supplements are, what goes into them, the branding, the ingredients, the benefits, and the drawbacks. So we're going to be touching on all of this and more, and just basically we're going to be basically touching on things that very few people talk about in the supplement game. So yeah, so Kiza, let's start off with some of the more what should I say, familiar supplement products out there, which are your whey protein isolates, yes, or protein. So just to give you guys, I'm no expert here, but I've been training now for maybe close to 3 years now, and my understanding or my knowledge of supplements is very limited, compared to Kiza, which is why I have Kiza here. But just to give you guys an understanding of protein and supplements in general, well, the name suggests it all. It's a supplement, and it's not to be consumed. It can't be consumed. How do I say it? It can't be.
It's not a replacement.
It's not a substitute, but it's an aid to your daily nutrition intake, right?
Yeah.
And there are people out there who believe that they can live on supplements. You could live on supplements, but then there are obviously a lot of long-term health effects when you choose to do that. But it's just an aid, and an aid only. So it's basically all it does is it helps you bridge that gap. It's also very cost effective means of ensuring that your body gets in the required amount of nutrition, your daily nutrition. So again, it's just to bridge the gap, just to help you achieve your daily nutrition target, that much easier, that much faster, and that much more cost effective. Yeah. So that's just a brief understanding on protein, just from my point of view. That's just my understanding of protein in general. We'll obviously go into the other products here, but before we get into that, I just want to also ask Kiza on his opinion of the term supplements, and how he defines this in
Yeah, I agree with what Manik said, but the main thing I want to touch on is that supplements just make your life easier. Example, if you want to reach your protein requirements, it's easier to just take a scoop and shake it rather than grill your chicken or any other meat. Example, even for a fat burner, it doesn't help you lose weight, but it helps you get there faster. So it all depends on what you do throughout the day. Your supplement you take maybe once or twice a day, but you have your meals, your sleep, which also mainly puts
which also contributes
which also contributes to your
which
goals.
contributes largely to your overall performance and
So
development.
yeah. Other than supplements, the other things you do is the whole foods you eat and your sleep is what contributes majorly towards your goals. Supplements are just there to make your life a bit easier and also just for you to get there quicker.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I couldn't have summed it up any better. That's exactly what supplements do, and that is exactly why they exist. And so yeah. And now a lot of a question that we get asked very frequently is, how do I choose the right supplement? Um, how is it going to impact my body? And um, you know uh, like how would you differentiate uh, you know different how would you differentiate supplements that belong in the same or fit in the same category? Because the market's really saturated now, and you've got like tons and tons of different whey protein isolates out there, ranging from Optimum, like from some of the more popular, well-known, established brands like Optimum Nutrition to now Applied Nutrition. So, how would you say, how would you say somebody out there who's literally just starting out his workout or his fitness journey, how would you say somebody needs to identify or choose the right supplement?
Correct. So
Let's talk about protein first.
So the well-known brands majorly are because they're really good at marketing. So example, let's say Gold Standard by Owen. It's very well marketed. It's probably the most consumed as well. It's because they are really good at marketing and for who they are as well. But you need to do your own research as well as to what protein might fit you best. So for example, someone who is just starting off gym, you want to meet your protein requirements, don't hesitate much on which should I take isolate, should I take casein, should I take whey protein, doesn't matter. You just take what fits in your budget because that's going to be the best fit for you. But example, someone who is going into more into lean muscle building, they would want to choose an isolate protein because it is the purest form of protein where you get zero carbs, zero sugar, and just
And
protein.
it's also like fast absorbing.
Fast absorbing as well.
Yeah.
So when I go to the store and if I want an isolate protein, the first thing I would do is I would first divide the protein intake by the scoop size. This is because you need to know if you're only getting 22.5 grams of protein, and if the scoop size is say 35 grams, where are the other grams going? It's not protein, so what else are you gaining? So that is what we want to see here. So example, when you divide 22.5 by 25 grams, I believe that will be 90% protein. So you're going to get 90% protein by consuming this type of a product. And if you go and see, there are other products in the market, sometimes they might give you 25 grams of protein, but the scoop size is 35. So I'm pretty sure that's much lower than 90% protein intake. So the first thing I would see is if you're getting above 90% protein with your whey protein.
Yeah. So that's definitely a very important factor to consider. something that we very rarely focus on, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
I
right.
feel like there are so many people out there who just, like you said very correctly, it's all to do with marketing, right?
Yeah.
Because I work in advertising, so advertising is pretty much, something. It's this false. I wouldn't say it's a false premise, but it's this. We just create this. We just
Environment.
artificially create this environment that makes you believe that this product is meant for you, that this product is good for you, that this product has a personality that vibes with yours, and we then slap on pretty like attractive stickers on the front and the back, and then make it seem like like cut that out. Right? They just like slap on these like pretty cool stickers on the front and the back, and so they just it's the stickers that actually appeal to a consumer.
Yeah.
It's just the plastic tub. uh, all these proteins out there have pretty much the same type of formula in them. They've got pretty much the same type of ingredients. The only thing that varies is the damn sticker. So it's a sticker that actually draws attention, and I feel like just because you see this muscular hunk on the front of a tub, it doesn't mean that you're going to look like that just by consuming this. And this is where people get confused, because they think protein makes you big. No, protein does not make you big. It obviously helps with the muscle building process, and it helps with gains, it helps with developing your physique, because it's a pure form of protein, obviously. So like, for example, if you were to get your protein from natural sources like chicken, fish and beef, you'd have a certain amount of fat in there,
Correct.
you'd have a certain amount of cholesterol in there.
True.
And so obviously all of that is stripped away. All of those sort of negative stuff are stripped away from your protein, which is why you tend to go with this. But it doesn't mean to say that you can't achieve a great body just by being on good food. You can. This is like, as Kiza said very correctly, it's just a cost-effective means. It's a very fast and easy way of bridging your nutrition intake.
One
And,
of the things I want to touch on is the reason whey protein even came to the market was because we know how much bodybuilders have to eat so many
Exactly.
grams of protein.
Yeah.
So the body can't actually digest whole foods that well.
Yeah.
So they were looking for an alternative, and they found out that having a whey protein, consuming with water or milk, it helps in the digestion and it's much easier. So you can't eat say about 200 grams of chicken because it's how long it takes to digest and actually go into your muscles. It takes much longer.
and that's the thing. See, being a bodybuilder is very difficult, right? A lot of people don't. It's always going to be a cult sport for unfortunate reasons. But there's a lot of work that goes into bodybuilding, and most of that work involves proper nutrition. Preparing your food, tracking your food, eating it constantly, eating it right, and all of that takes a lot of time. And trust me, when you've got a 9 to 5 job, and when you've got a whole heap of things going on in your life, that isn't easy. To do that on a consistent basis is not easy. And obviously, then this is where companies make that journey a bit more. What should I say?
Easier and flexible.
Easier and flexible. So yeah, that's when you turn to supplements, and it shouldn't be for any other reason. So just because you see this ripped guy on the front of a tub does not mean that you're going to look like him after consuming this. No, still going to have to follow a regimental diet plan, a regimental workout plan, and like work your butt off. So yeah, so we've got two different whey protein isolates here. One from Omega Sciences and one from Applied Nutrition. Both they're both new brands that are coming up that are coming up globally, fast moving, popular, and I'm gonna get Kiza here to give you guys an understanding. So like, for example, if you were to see these two tubs on a shelf, how would you know the difference? How would you know which one to buy? So Kiza is gonna give you guys a quick demo of how you guys might actually decide or end up choosing either of these tubs. Kiza.
Yeah, so I would look at three things. The first thing is what I mentioned earlier. I would divide the protein intake, divide by the scoop, and find out how much percentage of protein I'm actually getting. And the major difference I see in both of these tubs is that this has a further disclosure of how much BCAAs and glutamine you're getting it, which is vital for your growth and protein synthesis. But whereas when you see in this one, they do not mention the amount of BCAA and glutamine you have. So here, the disclosure of the nutritional information actually makes your life much easier because you know what's going inside your body.
But does that mean just because they don't disclose that, does that mean that it doesn't probably have the same?
No, but you're always questioning, and normally companies can have good fluctuation between the BCAAs. For example, you would need about 5 to 6 grams of BCAAs per scoop.
Yeah.
But these companies sometimes have the option of reducing the amount of BCAAs, and that's the reason sometimes they do not disclose that information because they don't want to give that information to the consumers.
Yeah. So for example here, this says 28.6 grams of protein per scoop. This says, I think 22, right? 22.5 grams per 25 grams. But according to your math, this still gives you more protein.
Yeah, in
Right?
your absorption, yeah, you get 90% per scoop.
Whereas this gives you?
I would say this protein is quite close to this brand. It's about 88% protein, whereas this is 90. But when you go and see some other proteins in the market, they're not even sometimes past 75%. So it's actually a waste of money. If you're only getting 75% of your protein per scoop, you're missing out on a lot. So it makes much more sense to spend your money wisely on a protein where I would say you get above at least 85%.
And the other thing that's worth sort of focusing on here are the ingredients,
Yeah.
which I believe are very important.
Yeah.
Because obviously, in my opinion, great tasting supplements have a lot of shit in them. I mean, at the end of the day, Kizzer, like, correct me if I'm wrong, it's not a snack. It's
Yeah.
it's not an enjoyable meal.
True.
It's supposed to just give your body the best form of nutrition. And it's like eating your vegetables, right?
Correct.
Vegetables don't taste great, but they're really good for you.
Yeah, true.
Whereas a great tasting protein can also sort of mean that it's not made up of quality ingredients.
Yeah,
So I feel like ingredients are also like a really important factor that people need to focus on when choosing their supplement.
Definitely. So even if you're taking take a supplement which tastes good, make sure you take that supplement discloses its ingredients. So it tells you how much sugar you're taking in, how much carbs you're taking in, and maybe compare that to another very clean protein. So are you okay with consuming 1 gram of sugar per scoop or 3 grams of carbs per scoop? It all depends on you, but you have to make sure that the proteins are giving you the correct ingredients down, and you can see everything what's in it.
Yeah. So on to my favorite bit of the video. We're going to be talking about pre-workouts now. Pre-workouts have been around for years, and they are very popular in the local context, and I know quite a few bodybuilders that rely on pre-workouts on the daily. The thing with pre-workouts, however, is that when you get used to them, it's hard to get off them. And what I mean by that is it's not a physical thing, it's more a psychological thing. And there are days where, you know, when you're off a pre-workout cycle and you enter the gym, you're like you just feel drained, and especially when you've had like a really lousy day at work, you just don't have you just feel as if you don't have what it takes to go through a full intense session. And I feel that that's not physical, it's just psychological for sure. And I feel like that's what makes pre-workouts addictive. So to anyone out there who's trying to decide on, you know, whether or not I need a pre-workout, all I can say is go for it, but maybe start with something like coffee or tea. Also, to those guys out there who, you know, have a very poor tolerance of caffeine, this could mean that, you know, pre-workouts could affect your sleep. And trust me, as a bodybuilder, sleep is essential. And with poor sleep, you're not going to recover fast. You're not going to recover fast, which means you're not going to, you know, you're not going to function. You're not going to function at optimum intensity during your workouts, and you're also not going to be able to gain as fast. So always, you know, try to. I mean, personally, I do use pre-workout. I do use caffeine, but I make sure that I use it only when I really have to, when I'm really lacking the energy, and I use it during my max weeks or my peak weeks, which are 2 weeks, week 6 and 7 of any phase, which is when I have to really push hard, really lift heavy, and really perform at a very high intensity. So that's when I save my pre-workouts. That's when I use my pre-workouts. But other than that, yeah, just diving into the topic, we're going to be talking about 2 different kinds. We're going to be talking about pre-workouts that include stimulants and stim-free pre-workouts. So let's start off with the stimulant pre-workouts. So here we've got ABE.
That has caffeine.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So here we've got ABE. Kiza, if you wanna do the honors of running through.
Yeah. So this type of product, it has only 200 milligrams of caffeine, but this is something I would give to any user. If you're a beginner or an end user, it's mainly because of the caffeine content. Because I feel like
Again, like a great brand, Applied Nutrition. We covered this last time with protein.
so one of the main reasons you take a pre-workout is because if you're actually drained throughout, like someone like Manik works 9 to 5 and then he has to come to the gym. Sometimes you just need that extra focus and you just need that extra push to go. So you'd go and take a pre-workout. So the pre-workout, the only thing you don't have to focus on is the caffeine, but three main ingredients would be the L-citrulline, the beta-alanine, and the caffeine. So what L-citrulline does is it opens up your blood vessels and lets the blood flow faster. So that's the whole pump feeling you get in your muscles. You know, you just feel really great. While you're, say, example, doing arms, you feel veiny and everything's just going well. Then secondly, the beta-alanine is used for muscular endurance, mainly because it slows down the lactic
Guys
acid.
are doing this in the rain and it's literally like amidst the lightning storm, so please make sure you watch the video and like it, because like honestly, like we're doing this for you.
Yeah, so it delays the lactic acid formed in your body, so it helps you push 1 to 2 reps, I would say, per set. So when you look in the long run, you're doing about 8 to 10 reps per set, for per exercise. And then when you look at in a long span, like 2 to 3 months, you're probably beating someone who doesn't take a pre-workout. So it's just going to benefit you.
And it's all this rain, like I can't believe we're still doing this. Like it's like honestly turned out into like an episode of Man vs. Wild now. And anyway, so moving on, let's like try and wrap this up quick. We're gonna be comparing 3 different stim pre-workouts. I'm gonna be getting Kiza's help as well. So we're gonna be talking about ABE, C4, and
Primal Labs, yeah.
Yeah. So Kiza, how do these 3 steam pre-workouts, how are they unique from each other?
Yeah, so this, I would say, the ABE, it has 3.25 grams of creatine. So what creatine does is obviously the ATP
Improves your
production.
recovery.
Yeah.
It impacts your strength.
Correct. So this, when you take this, you feel like your recovery is much quicker between sets, and also the
And
fact that
what creatine basically helps with is that initial like boom.
Yeah. So that's called the ATP production, where the strength at which you push the weight or the rate at which you push the weight is much higher. So I mean, if you're someone who does not take creatine monohydrate or any other creatine on a side basis, but you're lacking that strength aspect, you might as well go for this pre-workout. But when you're taking, say example, Mega Pre Black, this is a really strong pre-workout. I would say if you're drained out, or if you lack the endurance, 2 scoops of this and you're
That's
up
some,
there.
Mad flavor, no?
Yeah,
Juice.
orangutan juice.
Damn.
So I mean, this is going to give you that muscle endurance, and also the fact that you can really push through your workout. And this is generally for someone who works out long hours, say not 1 hour but 1.5 to 2 hours. It's going to last the whole way, unlike some other pre-workouts.
Yeah, so that's the thing in pre-workouts. Like I said, like talking about caffeine, sometimes an overload of caffeine can actually make you feel a bit sick.
Yeah. So
Right?
touching on that, there are pre-workouts such as the Curse or Psychotic. If you go and look at the labels, nothing is disclosed. It just shows a blend. So you actually don't know how much caffeine you're actually taking in. So some people are like, shit, this pre is so good, but 10 days later they are tolerant to that caffeine because it's so high, and then no other pre actually works for them, and they need to be aside from pre-workouts.
Yeah.
So I would say again, stick to pre-workouts which have their which have their ingredient labels.
Sorry about that, guys. We were interrupted by bad weather, and so we had to resort to shooting indoors. So yeah, disappointed, but yeah, what do you do? So just to continue on the topic of pre-workouts, we were comparing these 3 pre-workouts, and I believe Kiza was in the middle of describing C4. So C4 for me is like an OG pre-workout. It's been around for years, and they pretty much stuck to the same formula from the inception. So Kiza, if you can just like
Yeah, so C4 is people's go-to pre-workout, has been for a long time. But as you see, they have not put effort to change the ingredients. However, like for the past 2 3 years, they have shown more research on how ingredients should be found in a pre-workout. So like better use of ingredients, but they have not changed it. So as you can see that when the market is growing, there are better pre-workouts that are coming to the market. So if you're looking for better use of a pre-workout, you would want to switch to something else. I mean, there's no harm sticking with this, but for a better pre-workout, for better workouts, I would say it's better to make a switch.
And it's also got like, I mean, it's lower in caffeine.
Yeah, much lower,
in comparison to most pre-workouts out there. So it's like what 250? No, sorry, less 150 a serving, and it's got like a tiny ass scoop.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the problem, so a lot of people have actually, like a lot of people have, quite a few people have mentioned to me that they basically didn't take to C4 too well because they broke out after
Right.
with acne. I kind of may have experienced that as well, and I haven't been on C4 for a while, but yeah. I know that Johan switched to C4 from Total Ball,
Right.
which is another reason why I sort of, gave C4 a try. But yeah, somebody that's like a pre-workout junkie and suffers from a lack of sleep, I would highly recommend that you turn to a product like this. It's called Fade Out by Redcon. I feel like Redcon are the only people that do
Pretty
something
much, yeah.
something as substantial as this
One of the
does.
few companies. Yeah.
One of the few companies, and it's pretty good. I've actually tried it out, and it does work. It's got some really cool properties in there to sort of help you relax and calm down.
Correct,
And what it does do is that it doesn't, I wouldn't say it aids sleep, but it aids REM sleep, right?
Yeah. So it puts you into deep sleep.
It puts
gets
you into
good
deep.
sleep.
It puts you into deep sleep. So if you do get like, say for example, you need 8 hours to function, but like even with like 5 to 6 hours of sleep, you can still wake up fresh, which is one of the main sort of attributes to Fade Out. Yeah. Now that we're done with the steam pre-workouts, we now move on to steam pre-workouts. So here we've got Big Noise by Redcon, another great comp product, and we've got Vasomax by Performax Labs. And obviously they've got two completely different formulas. But Kiza, like, what are your thoughts on pump products? Because they're obviously not as popular as they are globally, in Sri Lanka, right?
That's true. Yeah. That's one reason is because before a few years back, supplement companies didn't like to bring these type of products down because I don't think they knew how to push it to the audience. But
Yeah.
now people understand.
I think they basically lack the knowledge of actually
Yeah.
promoting it, right?
That's true. So now someone like you, I think if you work out late in the night and you want to get good sleep, you would turn into a pump product.
Yeah, but again, I wouldn't say that it's the main. I mean, I wouldn't say that it's. But again, like, I mean, as much as a caffeine-free or a stimulant-free pre-workout, sort of, I mean, it's ideal for someone that works out late.
Yeah. Secondly,
But I wouldn't say it's the main contributing factor towards you using a pump formula.
Definitely,
Because it
yeah.
just improves, vascularity,
Correct.
and it aids that more than.
so, but secondly, many people like to mix this with half a scoop of a normal pre-workout.
Yeah.
So the main reason would be is if they lack focus at the gym. Sometimes your mind is everywhere.
Yeah.
You're thinking about something else. So these type of products have nootropics in them, which help you focus and gain the attention.
So funny thing about that, like I called Kiza up one day and I told Kiza, look, I'm still finding it a bit hard to sleep at night even with the steam-free pre-workout, and it's because they've got nootropics,
Nootropics,
and nootropics keep your mind awake, and they keep your mind focused. Obviously, when you
Yeah.
get into bed, you're thinking, and that's why you don't fall
Yeah.
asleep. But it doesn't really, you just have to find
Yeah.
ways of calming down. But yeah, I mean, I've used both of these. In all fairness, I definitely prefer this one. Actually, got it down from Australia. It's got some really good ingredients. Kiza, do you wanna? I mean, Kiza, I just showed this to Kiza as well. He's seeing it for the first time, and he was pretty impressed with the ingredients and the formula as well. So, do you wanna basically? Why don't we compare these two?
This product, it has 3 grams of glycerol pump. So the main focus here, I mean, what it does is that it opens your blood vessels again, and you just have a mad rush of blood going through your muscles. So you can literally feel your biceps pulsating.
Yeah, so
or
what that
it's-
also does is that it helps you warm up that much
Correct, yeah.
faster. So like for example, you would need a couple of warm-up sets before your
True.
working set, but what this sort of does is that
minimize that. Yeah.
it minimizes that time lag.
Correct. Yeah.
So it helps you get into it helps you warm up that much faster.
And get in the zone.
Yeah, get in the zone.
So that's another thing here where they have the nootropic formula, which helps you get in the zone exactly, and your focus. You know what to do, and you know how to keep your attention, get that mind-muscle connection, which is very important. So the main difference would be that this does not have the nootropic formula. Its main focus is for the blood flow and to get you get your muscles ready for the workout, get the good blood flow.
Yeah. So
That's
for
why I
someone
would choose this
Yeah.
product over that.
So for someone who's extremely sensitive to caffeine, like me, for example, I would highly recommend that you go ahead with a pump product rather than a high caffeine pre-workout, because it's gonna mess with your sleep. And then, I mean, if you don't sleep right, you're not gonna train right, you're not gonna work right. Like, you're just gonna have a really awful day, and you don't want that. But if you still, so I mean, the only issue with a steam-free pre-workout is that it doesn't give you that kick or that
yeah.
hit of
That's true.
high-powered,
That's true.
high power that caffeine does.
True.
You know, that tingling sensation
yeah.
that you get along your neck and your back. You know, it doesn't give you that buzz.
True.
So if you're still after that feeling, then I would recommend that you either have a couple of teaspoons of coffee.
Coffee, yeah.
And then combine it with this, or if you still think that lacks power, combine it with maybe half a scoop or a scoop of pre-workout and a scoop of this, and you should be good to go. But yeah, and I think we pretty much covered pre-workouts. We're going to be quickly diving into a few other supplements and something really cool that I feel seriously needs to be more popular in the local scheme of things. Actually, let's talk about it right now. So we've got MREs here, right? So they are real whole food meal replacements, and these are extremely cool. And why I say that is it just like comes in handy when you've got like an extremely hectic day or extremely busy day. Like say for example, like so I have a 9 to 5 job, right? And then I sometimes have an event or a function in the evening. So I have to somehow squeeze in gym in between that.
Sure.
And then gym takes me like close to 2 hours, maybe more sometimes with cardio. And for me to then come home, prep my food and eat it, obviously that's going to take time. So like for a Friday night, say you're hanging out with the boys or they're going out with people for drinks, and you need to finish gym up really quick and then head out. This is when MREs come in handy, because you just open this up, throw it in a glass, quick blend, and you're good to go with your meal in your stomach. And it's literally that easy. So this baby right here has like 500 plus calories. It's got it's got your fat, it's got your fats, it's got your carbs, it's got your proteins, and it's a quick way to sort of get in your last meal or any one of your meals in for the day. And I feel like, as much as, I mean, Kiza was telling me the other day that he knows somebody actually goes camping with a tub of this and actually uses it 3 times a day. And I was like, man, that's a bit extreme. But then Kiza was saying, it actually works, and he's never gone a day without it.
Because his alternative was cooking in the jungle.
Cooking in the jungle, yeah. So I feel like, again, like if you're traveling, if you're on a long flight, or if you're in transit for a couple of days, or if you're stuck in quarantine in a hotel room and you don't have access to proper food in terms of your proper macro breakdown, I feel like resorting to an MRE would be ideal. So this comes in handy. It definitely comes in handy. I feel like it's a really good product. So this is by Redcon again. They do some great stuff. They've got some great product innovation going on. And yeah, it's just a shame that this hasn't really caught up. So Kiza was telling me that he should bring this down, but then unfortunately, because of people don't understand the concept of an MRE, so therefore they don't tend to go for it. But I still believe that this product right here is going to make big inroads in the future in Sri Lanka. So yeah, we're almost at the end of the video, and we've just got a few more products, and we're going to be touching on BCAAs and creatine. So creatine is one of the most researched supplements out there. been around for years, and I mean, I personally don't consume creatine, but I mean, it's one of the most trusted supplements out there, and you've got like all kinds of athletes, both track and field who use creatine, and yeah. Kiza, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, so I would say if you're a beginner, start understanding how your body is doing, how you're working out. Give it a few, I would say, months and understand how your body is functioning. Then you would want to add a creatine because one of the first factors how you see your creatine is working is your bench press. You would first see that you can go up like 2.5 to 5 kilos a week.
Yeah.
And you would
and,
just see.
and also like how explosive your first rep is.
Correct, yeah.
If you're able to sort of blast off right from the get-go, that means that you've obviously got the right amount of creatine levels in your body that is going to fuel that intensity.
So it basically energizes your cells and helps you push much further. It also helps in muscle endurance and also gives you a much, I would say, a more athletic look because this absorbs into your body. You need to drink a lot of water because water and creatine,
water.
So, yeah.
So the body does produce a lot of creatine naturally,
It does, yeah.
but then obviously with
Not enough.
with you increasing your intensity on the daily, that natural creatine sort of depletes, and that is when you need this. But then also there are I mean, creatine is also found in red meat.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you eat a decent amount of red meat throughout the week, I would say once or twice a week, that's still sort of, I still believe that would cover the necessary amount of creatine you require for your week. So yeah, BCAs.
Yeah, so this is a big controversial topic where many people say you don't need BCAA, you don't need EAA, they're just a marketing scam and all that. But
I personally think it's horseshit.
Yeah.
I mean, I have every right to say that.
Yeah. So I would say how you
But
differentiate.
I mean, it depends. See, there are people who I mean, it depends on the athlete, no.
Yeah.
So, like for example, if you are on a cut, I would say this might be more, for you. But say if you're bulking or if you're actually, a power lifter or like a strong man, then you would need BCAs.
No. So how it goes is you don't need BCAAs if your protein intake is high or it's at the at level you want to.
Or if it's in line with the required macro count,
Yes.
then you don't need it.
Yeah, you don't need BCAAs.
Because you get it from food.
It contributes to your protein synthesis. But if you go to see isoleucine and valine, those two products are really important during an intra workout because that's what produces extra energy and helps you push further. So I would say, for you, if there's a psychological effect, a positive psychological effect to take a BCAA in your workout, if it's going to help you, you think it's going to help you, you might as well take it because it's at your advantage. When you talk about EAAs is for people who do not consume enough protein and they are looking for a cheaper alternative. If they can't afford a whey protein or if they still want to have a good if they still want to have a good lean body, you should be taking EAAs because these type of you should be taking EAAs because EAAs is actually going to help you in your anabolic state and it's going to help in protein synthesis as well. So it actually depends on what type of athlete you are, if your nutrition is right, and secondly also your sport. So many athletes you see, like endurance athletes, it's a must for them to take BCAAs plus EAA regardless of their protein intake. It's because of the energy production and the recovery. Because you're recovering when your body is at your weaker state. That means at your workout. So they want to recover faster so the next day they can perform better or the same level.
I've come to the end of the video, but I also have to say that supplements are a very broad area, broad topic, and vitamins also fall into the category of supplements. So we've got, these are the supplements, these are the vitamins that I take on the daily. So I've got my fish oil, I've got my vitamin C, I've got my multivitamin, and I've got my magnesium and vitamin D3. So I mean, this is like these are like bodybuilder essentials basically, and it's just sort of it's as important as your daily nutrition, and I mean, magnesium, for example, is like really great. Like it promotes heart health, bone health, and it's like amazing for recovery. Also helps you sleep well at night. And yeah, so vitamin C over here obviously impacts things like your immunity, helps you falling ill, and keeps you, um, keeps you healthy, fit, and strong. Zinc over here promotes, healthy skin and hair. And vitamin D3 is obviously individuals that don't have a lot of access to sunlight or don't like going out in the sun. Obviously, vitamin D3 is very good for your bones. It's good for your immunity, and also that I mean, as much as taking your vitamins is important, it's also important to stick to your nutrition. Like be consistent with it. It's not about, I mean, you can go to the gym and get destroyed on the daily, but if you're not going to eat right, if you're not going to take your vitamins on time, and if you're not going to get your 3 to 4 liters of water a day, you're not going to achieve the body you want. And that's facts, straight up. And yeah, with that, we have come to the end of the video. A massive thank you to Kiza for joining me on the channel today. He was a bit skeptical because this was his first time in front of the camera. Pretty sure he did okay. Let me know what you guys think as well. And yeah, I mean, I hope we've covered as much as you guys would have liked. We went through protein, we went through pre-workouts, we went through BCAAs, we went through MREs, we went through vitamins. So I feel like we've covered pretty much quite a bit, and I hope that this video gives you the information that you require when selecting or deciding on a product or a supplement brand. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, don't forget to like the video, don't forget to hit the bell icon, and yeah, feel free to comment in the description below. Also, I almost forgot, if you guys, so Kiza works for Sports Nutrition Hub, and I'm gonna be popping up their Instagram profile over here. Please check them out, they're really good. I've been buying all my supplements from them for the past 12 months now, maybe longer, and I would highly recommend them. And they know their stuff, they know what they're talking about, and they deliver right to your doorstep, so you don't have to worry about getting out there and finding your supplements. Just hit them up. I'll also include the number in the comments below. Check them out, they're really good. I would highly recommend them. And also, if you guys if you're interested in buying anything out there, I'm going to be leaving my code below, which means that you'll be entitled to a discount on your first purchase. So yeah, please make use of that, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.
Brody on the line, I'm tapping in. God out here pulling the strings for me. A girl on the line, she feeling me. Preoccupied by the motivation. Put in the time, pay the entry fee.